Welcome, you lover of love out there. This is Late Night Love, where we get real about the highs, lows, and the messy moments of love and life. I'm Jazz, she's Lubby, and tonight we are diving into this tough, it's going to be another one, family pressures, personal boundaries, and the fight to be heard. What happens when a teen faces a medical procedure they didn't consent to, or when a smear campaign tears a marriage apart? We'll explore parenting dilemmas like a daycare questioning bath time or a 5-year-old refusing dental visits over privacy concerns. From CPS exhaustion to debating kids or navigating birthday party gift etiquette, we're tackling it all. Plus, we'll ask, is it okay to love staying in... Oh, wow, I should have pre-read this one. Is it okay to love staying in with your toddler or to skip showers for a month? No judgment, just real talk. Settle in. Let's unpack the heart of it all. This is Late Night Love. Yeah, I would have rephrased that one. I understand what it was trying to say, but I was in a hurry tonight, man, when I was putting these together. So I trusted Grok a little too much on these. I didn't edit Grok this tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. Well, it's the only one who will give us some answers to some of these things, because we talk about teenagers and stuff and some of those other ones. We can't answer the question and they get all flipped out. So sometimes you got to use.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, this is an interesting question tonight. Our first question, actually, it was an interesting one, considering that I've recently been to, colonoscopy events and colorectal cancer events and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an interesting dilemma. So what we got? What are we starting off with?
Okay, I'm 15 going on 16, and I'm being forced to have a colonoscopy. I did not consent to it. They let my parents decide, but didn't ask what I wanted. Shouldn't I be given a say, considering I'm the one getting violated? Now, I understand it. Of course, it's going to feel like violated. That's a very private area.
Yep.
And we don't often have get tested there. But there's a reason, hun, that they're asking for a test. They asked your parents to consent to this test for you. They're concerned about you. There's something going on.
Yeah, this is a normal procedure for those of us 45 and above. It's something you kind of go through. It's exceedingly rare for this to be needed at 15 or 16. Mm-hmm. So if they are, saying you need to take this and actually going around you and having your parents do it, it's not for no reason. There is a reason for it. Are there other options? Maybe. I mean, I was at the VA and they have little pills with cameras that you can take now. And it takes pictures on its way through, but they're not as effective.
Oh, okay.
Because it only takes pictures at where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand his problem. You get it at 16 years old. That's the last thing you want to do. Get that area exposed to a whole freaking operating room.
Hello, thank you so much.
Full of people.
Hey, I was 35 the first time, and I did not want to do it.
No one wants to do it. It doesn't. If you're 45, you don't want to do it. It's not
today. I would not.
It's not a matter, but it's not a matter of want to.
It's a medical procedure. They're a test. It's a test. It's not a procedure. You're not having anything cut away. They're just going to have a look-see.
And let's be honest, the preparation is far worse than everything else.
It really is. The actual test itself is over so quickly, but the prep for it is just exhausting.
It just takes kind of a day to get the prep for it. And then, then you get 4 hours of lots of passing gas. So there's that. You can have some fun with that, I suppose. Have fun with it as you can. Farts are funny, so have some fun with it. But yes, no one did this for no reason. So
yeah,
you're gonna have to man up and go through it like the rest of us do. It's just sad that you have to go through it this early.
Sorry, hen. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
No gifts for a birthday party? She'd never seen this on an invitation before. One of her kids got an invitation to a birthday party. It said, no gifts, please.
Well, because they don't want people who are, we'll use the term underprivileged, to feel to feel bad or to not come because they can't afford a nice gift.
Mm-hmm.
And so you tell, no gifts. This is our treat. You come. Your gift is your presence, not your present.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the main reason why they do that. Someone has enough, and they don't need the gift from you. And so in order to make those who are less fortunate feel better and feel able to come, it's no gifts. Don't feel obligated.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Reported to CPS, and I'm just exhausted with everything. I don't know how many people in the United States, parents, get out of never having to deal with CPS. And it's exhausting.
Yeah, it's, and the problem is it can be nothing, right?
Yes, it usually is. It's usually nothing.
It's usually nothing. We had an autistic child who was skinny. CPS was called. It was strange that a single father was raising 3 boys and a girl. These things happen, and you just try to deal with it the best you can. If you can afford it, you get a lawyer to help you deal with it, because they'll push you to sign things that you shouldn't sign just because they want their case numbers to look better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful on that. But we feel for you. But sadly, it's something far too many people have to deal with for no reason. And let's hope that this is one of those cases with no reason, and we're not feeling sympathy for somebody who doesn't deserve it. Because there is a case, this is a negligent parent or something of that nature. And CPS was legitimately called. Or maybe someone's dealing with depression and someone didn't, know the proper thing to do isn't to call CPS, is to offer help. There's things, there's a whole range of potential possibilities. So,
well, I like to err on the side of caution and give empathy and understanding.
Yes, and here's the thing. If you're going to call CPS on somebody, you dang well better be right, because you can destroy someone's life if you're wrong.
You really can.
And so you make sure you're correct. There are times when it's the only choice you have, right? There's literally no other choice, but you dang well better be right. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, what's next?
My daycare asks if our 4-year-old takes baths with her dad.
Okay. Well, that's none of their business. And what's wrong with 4-year-olds taking baths with their parents?
Yeah.
We live in such a strange world where we'll put highly sexualized content in libraries for 5-year-olds, but then we flip out if they're having bathing with their parents. I don't understand the world we live in. I'm not saying either one of those is bad or good. I'm just saying the fact that those both exist at the same time makes no sense. So, I don't know. I suppose the question I would ask is, why are they asking?
I would definitely ask them.
Yeah, because...
And if you have a question, you can ask me,
Yeah.
Not my child.
Yeah, it's not unusual for 4-year-olds to be taking baths and showers and whatnot with children. It's still relatively common. So, we live in such a strange world. Okay.
Is there anyone who was on the fence about having children but ultimately decided to?
I'm pretty sure lots of people were on the fence about having children.
Quite a bit.
But ultimately, for one reason or another, ended up having children. Yes.
Babies happen.
You're not alone, is the answer to that question. You know, it's quite common to question whether you are responsible enough to take care of a human being, whether you have it in you to raise a child properly. Those are all good questions to have. If you're asking those questions honestly, then you're probably okay. It's the people who don't ask those questions that are the ones you worry about. I mean, if the answer is quickly, oh yeah, I'm good, and then at least you've asked the question. But if you're not, you know, honestly asking yourself those questions, then you're not thinking hard enough about it. It's a complicated thing. There's no manual. And every time we try to write one, it just messes the next generation up. So we need to stop with that. There's no manual. You're making this up as you go along, based upon.
You really do. Based upon the
individual needs of you, the family, and the child, and you're just doing the best you can because you don't know what 30 years is what they're gonna need to be like in 30 years. You're literally just doing the best you can, and as long as you're doing that,
through the day, dude.
As long as you're doing that, you're doing okay. Okay, what's next?
5-year-old considers mouth private, which makes a problem taking him to the dentist.
Yeah. It's a 5-year-old excuse to not go to the dentist is what that is. I've raised enough children to know that's an excuse for a 5-year-old not. They think they have found it out. Pretty smart one, but sorry, kiddo, doesn't count. Going to the dentist.
The dentist is a doctor, just like any other doctor, and is.
Yeah, you may need to find a different dentist,
and that's one of the groups of people that we get that can examine our privates. You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but your mouth isn't really private. You shovel food into it every day.
He's saying it's private. I say go with it. You know,
no,
it's a doctor. You have to go to the doctor.
I don't know. There's a couple of ways I suppose you can handle it, but if it's a problem for the dentist, you can just find a different dentist who can deal with it. But that's the issue. But yeah, this is just a 5-year-old. It's not real. This is just a 5-year-old trying to avoid going to the dentist because who the hell likes going to the dentist? And so he's found himself an out. So the only way to deal with that is to not. You don't participate. You just don't even entertain the idea.
Well, there's two different
approaches.
Two different views there.
Two different approaches for that answer. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Is it really that crazy that we'd like to stay in? They have a 3-year-old. You know, and they're just homebodies. They always have been. I mean, they take the child to the park and stuff. It gets exercise and fresh air and everything. You know.
Well, no, it's not weird.
That's what people actually used to do before our lives got so busy with lessons and sports and.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with wanting to just stay in and hang out with your family.
There's 3.
You don't need to fill your life with everything.
You got plenty of time for music lessons.
And in fact, that free play or the free time is far better for them.
I guess, yes.
Is far better for them than the over-organized.
At 3, definitely.
Yeah. At 3, at 7, at 9. I'm not saying don't have any organization, but they all need that free time for themselves. Times it's not scheduled. We kind of lost that in the last couple of generations, and that's part of the problem. So, okay, what's next?
My father-in-law led a smear campaign against me and came between me and my wife. I'm lost. How do I forge forward?
Well, so I'm assuming that how is the marriage been separated? And I suppose there's not enough here really to give a good answer. So assuming that the marriage is still intact but in tatters,
yeah,
that's a different answer than if you guys have
They haven't separated or anything. They're still
so
remain. They both want to remain married, but she's having trouble with some aspects of his behavior that the father-in-law brought up.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what they are.
This is one of these things, if father-in-law simply doesn't like him and he's going to be making whatever this is, it's just going to move on to something else. If you actually deal with this,
he's going to pick on something else.
He's just going to pick on something else. And so at some point, your wife is going to have to decide that these two relationships are separate. Or there's some relationship red flags that he needs to deal with. I suppose it's not entirely
Why is she choosing her father over her husband?
Because her father's protected her entire life. She never truly let go, despite being 29. And maybe rightfully so, maybe not. We don't know. So
there's no children yet.
No. So, it could just be a crass attempt to break up a marriage before there's children, just because the father's an old cahoot type, Yahoo. Nobody's ever going to be good enough for his little girl. Could be one of those things. Or there could be problems that actually legitimately need to be dealt with. And frankly, again, as we've gone through a number of times tonight, anything in between. There's a wide gap that can be filled in there.
But I think this screams for counseling, couples counseling.
I don't know. Because it depends if there's some legitimacy to the complaint or not, or if it is literally just a smear campaign.
But doesn't he need to express his disappointment and hurt? He feels lost that she's...
My guess is he already has. They haven't split up yet. You said they're still trying to think it together, so
yeah.
It's not like they haven't expressed it. Again, without knowing details, it's kind of hard for us to give any kind of real specifics, because there's too much potential from an abusive spouse to an abusive spouse. Okay, what's next?
I am 17 and have not showered in at least a month. Is this bad? Now he washes, with a washcloth, but...
Well, it's not going to kill you or anything. People back a couple hundred years ago were insanely unsanitary, and they all survived. But, dude, we live in the modern world. Why wouldn't you, every few days, just kind of...
get in the shower?
Yeah. I'm not going to assume it's some kind of depression or anything like that, but you would think at some point...
Well, 17, they sleep in their clothes.
Yeah, but still, and I know there's this movement where people don't like to wash their hair and stuff like that, but still, is it bad? Well, no, but it's probably not pleasant for those around you, and it is going to make your life difficult as you move forward. So I would suspect that you should, rethink your strategy on this one, would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And that's it for us tonight. Join us on Saturday, and we can find out our relationship questions. We talk about all that. All the love questions. Good night. Have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.